Hey, how you doing? Mike Bradley here. Hope you're doing well as always. I bring another review today, and this is another Seymour Duncan pedal, and this is the Vapor Trail, which is a really cool, I use the word really there a lot, analog delay pedal. And I'll do some sweeps over now of it as it's currently sitting on my feet on my pedal board. It's a really cool analog delay pedal, and it produces a really warm vintage sound. And apparently it uses Bucket Brigade chips, so some special Seymour Duncan wizardry going inside, which helps produce that authentic vintage sound which you hear, you know, if you're a fan of Dave Gilmour especially. As soon as I started playing this, actually in the manual it even gives you some kind of settings, and one of them is a Dave Gilmour kind of sound. And if you're a fan of Dave Gilmour, this will give you that kind of amazing, if I put a bit of delay, that Dave Gilmour sound, you know, which everyone knows and loves basically. As well as just being a cool delay sound, I'll do all different sounds in a minute. It also has a rate and depth controls on there as well, which gives you really cool different modulation sounds. You can have a really kind of, you know, 80s singing chorus sounds to it, to more subtle kind of chorus sounding. So it's a really cool, you know, delay pedal for that analog sound. You know, a lot of people like digital delay pedals, which is cool, and they produce sounds that you can't get with analog, but at the same time analog produces that warm kind of rich sound which you can't quite get on a digital delay pedal. So, you know, it's horses for courses basically. You know, it's better probably to have one of each. So, you know, whatever sound, if you're recording especially, you know, if you want that kind of vintage kind of sound, you've got to do an analog delay pedal, and the digital gives it their own flavour. But today we're in analog silly. So let's have some fun with it. So this is the sound I got at the moment, which you probably heard at the beginning of the video. That's that kind of sound, and then with distortion added on. You get that sound like that, which with an attempt at trying to be sounding like Jeff Beck at the same time. So let's have a little fiddle about. Like I say, each one I'll do little sweeps over as well. So now let's kind of put the repeats up. Actually, let's bring the repeats down. Okay, let's have some fun with it. So if I bring the delay up to about 12 o'clock and repeats are at about 11 o'clock, mix is about 10ish, something like that. I've got kind of a 50. So you might get bring it up louder so the mix is louder, so you get this kind of sound. So now the delay is a lot louder pretty much than the actual guitar sound. with a bit of gain. So again, hopefully you're hearing a really cool, warm, vintage sound. And I keep stressing the word vintage, but vintage is always cool. Right, now I've got the mix at about 2 o'clock, repeats at 10, and delay timing at about 1. And the rate and modulation is about 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock on the depth. Sorry, rate and modulation, rate and depth, sorry. And now I should be able to get some cool little violin sounding. So this would be without the delay. That kind of sound. Now delay on. You get that kind of stuff, which is very reminiscent, I suppose, of Paul Gilbert in the Echo song, and Brian May uses that kind of stuff. Well, kind of, he uses some of this. Van Halen as well. But you don't have to use this as a volume knob, you can still use it. I put a stupid amount of gain on, I've used my little boost. So it's a really cool, little setting there. So like I say, I've got the mix at 1 o'clock, do a peaks at about 10, and delay at 1 o'clock. And it's just literally just having fiddles with it. Fiddle with the pedal, and use your ears to see what sounds good, The chords. Right, now I'll change the kind of modulation sounds on it, so I'll put the rate, let's just go one extreme to the other, so the rate and the depth is going to go right up, and I'll put the other controls at about 12 o'clock each. So now you've got this kind of sound happening. Yeah, that little swirl happening at the end. Let's just bring the mix up a bit more. Now I'll take the modulation off. So it's slight, you can hear a difference there. It's not a wobble at the end, it's just straight. So personally, I like kind of having them at about a 12 o'clock kind of setting. So you just got a, you know, bit of both worlds in there, a bit of the vintage and also the modulation in there, just to give them a little swirl sound to it, you know. So I remember when I was younger, and I'd always hear like your 80s rock guitarists, and they're playing a note, down, 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 and you could hear other notes kind of in the background just singing off. And again, you get that cool sound. Again, I've put quite a bit of gain, and you get that sound kind of ringing out. And it just sings out there, which sounds really cool. So if I do a little backing track to myself, turn all this off. So I can live out my 80s rock fantasy by having stupid amount. It might be a bit muddy on there with all sorts going through the amp, but you get a rough idea what's going on. But I really, really like it. And the coolest thing about this pedal is you get to do this. That's hours of fun. And all that is literally putting the repeats on max, and then I'd have, you can have the mix really loud, but I'm in a room here, I'm in house volume, and then I'm literally playing around with the speed. So the repeats are on max, and the speed you're just kind of playing around, you get all those kind of sounds. So, you know, and I've A/B'd it between a digital, as easy as said and done, a digital delay and the analog sounds so much better. I'm not just saying that because I'm reviewing this here, you know, it's so much better. It's really cool. So, no, this is just one of the many cool things which you could make a musical, but they certainly stir my loins. So again, some features which well, the main features I do like about these Seymour Duncan pedals is that they're top loaded. And you know, so a lot of times on pedal boards, you know, especially if you're putting a delay through the effects loop, which I am today, and which I always do with a delay pedal, it just sounds better and more professional sounding, you know, just too messy when it's going in line. But a lot of times, you know, you've got them going sideways. If you've got the pedal on top of the board, where the other kind of effect pedals you've got, which are in the loop as well, it can sometimes be a bit cramped, and, you know, getting right angle jacks, all that kind of stuff. For the socket next to it. But with the Seymour Duncans, they're top loaded, so, and they've got no arrows, so this is the input, that's the output, and it just makes more for a cleaner pedal board and a cleaner pedal, you know. And they're really solid, there's no gunk on the back, but in the box, ta-da, which is now here, it comes loaded with Velcro and stuff like that. So, you know, you can either, if you don't want to put it on a board, you've got the little sticky thing, and you go on the back there, or it's got Velcro ready, stick them on the back, and you're ready to go out and play, you know. So it's just, you know, kind of gig friendly, I would say, these Seymour Duncan pedals. I'm really impressed, they're really good make, and this, I want it for my board, you know, it just sounds great. and I really like the sound. So like I say, really simple. You can see you've got, like I say, I'll do overviews for the whole video, but you've got mix, repeat, delay. And delay is, first of all, why is this different? And the reason it's different is that it's got a blue LED light and it flashes in time to whatever you got it set as, which again is a really cool feature, you know. The one thing it would have been cool for it if it was had a tap tempo in it, but then again it's not a digital delay, so that's what the digital delays are for. Because this is a vintage sounding delay, it doesn't have the tap tempo in it. So it would be great if it did, but that would be kind of lying to what it actually is. It's an analog delay pedal, and you know, if you went back to 1969, you wouldn't have tap tempo delays on it. Well, as far as I'm aware, you wouldn't anyway. I may be wrong, and I may get some people throw stuff up their computer screens or what I just said there, but hey-ho! No review of a delay pedal will be complete about that old Irish band and their guitar player's famous use of a delay pedal. So there you have it. There's my little overview, if you will, of this really cool Seymour Duncan digital delay pedal, the Vapor Trail. Again, these pedals are getting cooler and cooler names, you know, like some Hollywood epic film or something. But yeah, let us know what you think in the comment section below, good or bad. Hopefully that's given you an idea on what this really cool analog pedal can do, you know. So check it out, go to your nearest store and check one out. And I'll see you next time. Take care, I'm Mike Bradley. Bye!